Howdy, howdy, what is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel of Stone Mandalorian. My name is Cody. You can call me Stone or Stone Mando, doesn't matter to me. And as you can see, today we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends retro-carded animated Spider-Man animated series, Green Goblin. That was a mouthful, right? But man, I've said it before. I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me on my channel all the time. I absolutely love these retro cardbacks so much, man. Just the thick cardstock, the bright, vibrant colors. They're just super collector oriented and display friendly, and I just love them, man. I cannot get enough of them. I really wish that the Black series would start heading this direction a little bit more often. Very similar. They're already doing it in Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe. Let's get some retro cards with this thick cardstock like this in the Black series. But this thing looks absolutely awesome. Green Goblin is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, probably the greatest Spider-Man villain in my opinion. And this just, every time I see these cardbacks or just these figures, it just takes me back to growing up, watching these with my brother and my mom, whether it was before school, after school, or on the weekends, whatever. It just really takes me back to a really special place and time in my life. But with that being said, let's get on into the packaging here. And you can see we have this beautiful, beautiful retro card back with the blister / window showing the figure. Got the figure itself, awesome Goblin right there with the glider, the pumpkin bomb, and the alt Norman Osborn head. A little bit of warning, don't put this in your mouth. We have an awesome picture of the Goblin right there, looking freaking badass. Spider-Man logo, Marvel Comics logo here at the top. Getting onto the back, we have the legalese and such, GameStop sticker right there, sorry about that. Some other figures that came in the wave that you can snag. Here's the bio, you can read that, pause that and read that. Again, with the Spider-Man logo, the drawing of Goblin there, Marvel logo, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man. This thing is freaking awesome, dude. I love these cardbacks so freaking much. And this Goblin just looks badass, man. I got Hobgoblin, I got Venom, Carnage. I still need to track down Scorpion and Doc Ock, but I'm trying to track down some of my more favorite Spider-Man villains. I need to grab Kraven at some point in time. But like I said, I've been wanting this one for a minute now, and I was contemplating back and forth on Big Bad. I seen it in GameStop. I was like, nope, you're coming with me. So let's open it up. Starting off with the first accessory here we're taking a look at. This is the Norman Osborn alt head. And it looks really good, man. The paint is super clean. The hair has some nice texture and depth to it. He's got them kind of like cornrow looking, just like how he does in the animated show. Yeah, it looks good. And next up right here, we have the pumpkin bomb with some awesome orange and green paint on here, looking absolutely badass, dude. Really like the flame effect going on there. This is badass. Definitely, if you're gonna have a Goblin, you have to have a pumpkin bomb. There's the glider that comes with the Goblin here, and I'm already kind of looking at this, and I think it's going to be better than the Hobgoblin. But it's got a casting like kind of like a bluish, metallic gray plastic. But it does have some nice sculpt details on it. Nothing too crazy or too fancy. But yeah, it does what it's supposed to. Now we're looking at the Goblin himself, man, and just check him out. Look how badass he looks, dude. Very, very cool. This is an older mold. As you can see, we still have pins in the knees and the elbows, which to some people is unsightly, and I get that. I would definitely prefer pinless, but at the end of the day, it's not game over or a huge game changer. But just looking at the sculpt here, I believe this is the same bag that comes with Hobgoblin, maybe? I could be wrong. There's some nice silver paint on here, nice sculpt and wrinkles. You can see the stitching on the bag there. It's a slightly like lighter purple or pinkish color. Same thing with the belt right here. Awesome detail of the wrinkles on the glove right here. On the gloves, I should say. That is nice, man. And just all the sculpting, like this kind of like fish scale pattern, very similar to like how the comic book version of Captain America is. This is a lot of sculpt on this figure, man. I love figures with textures, man. I don't know what, it like scratches my brain. I don't know. Got his iconic purple hat here. And I'm already looking at this and I can see this hinge. The hinge with a ball joint on it, and I really like that old school self-articulation, because what that does is, you see, he can tuck his chin straight to his neck. He can look pretty much straight in front of him. This is going to really help get some awesome posing. You can see that ball joint up in there. Huge hinge. So ball joint, neck peg, hinge, whatever you'd like to call it. The ears, again, and the paint on this, man. Look at the paint separate from his gums and his teeth, man. That slightly darker pinkish purple, that looks great. The yellow on his eyes, the purple on his cap. And again, the wrinkles here. Look at the back, like where it would be bunched up. The sculpt on this is awesome, man. Like, look at the wrinkle on the gloves right here. That is so freaking rad. Wow, dude. So freaking cool. I am really digging this figure, actually. So we'll just go ahead and jump on into it. But this is a Kind of like an overlay piece, a little scarf piece that's around his neck without messing with his ears too much. Can't really get a whole lot of side-to-side tilt, but then the back and forth is a lot, of course. He can spin 360 degrees. Get right to, ooh, some stiff plastic. Oof. All right, that's some limited articulation right there. So you can see that hinge right there. That's as much as you're getting right there. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Damn. So you're not even going to get a full T position. That's as far out as his shoulder can go with that single joint ball hinge. However, with the pinned elbows, even then with the glove, it just wants to butt up into each other. See that right there? So you can't even really utilize without that full double pin without stressing the plastic. So you can get right to 90. There is bicep swivel. Typical single ab hinge crunch thing that Marvel Legends does that I'm not really a big fan of, and it's a lot further back, not really any far forward, just before the sculpt starts to butt up into one another. But far back is pretty cool, but would like to see more hunch over, you know, because especially with his head being able to go this far up, if he was able to hunch over, that would make for some really like creepy poses, you know. But and then there is a swivel at the waist, just a cut. There's no ball joint or lateral side to side movement, which is a little bit of a bummer. We do have thigh swivel, dumbbell ball joints, dumbbell joints in the hips, and just due to the sculpt, you can see it starts to butt in right here at the side of the thigh, going into the glute right there. So not even a full T position or a full split, I should say. That's kind of a bummer. They can kick out straight forward. It's got some good, very good kick out. It's actually really nice. And a decent range of kickback. That's actually not too bad, to be honest. Of course, the thigh swivel, like I pointed out. Pin double jointed knees, so you can get the calf to touch the hamstring pretty much. Pretty nice. This is cool. There's boot swivel on here. That's nice. That's definitely wanted. And the feet go down that far, very, very far, and then they also come up a very decent amount. And there's a forward-facing pin for rocker. To mess with the shoulders a little bit more, I can get it a little bit further up. So theirs is about like right down by his side. And if you really stress it, you can the scaling, the texture will kind of ride a little bit further underneath his arm. You see that right there? See, it's right there, and it's gone. Then it goes up a little bit smidge, so you can actually get it up a little bit far out than I initially thought. Real quick, the one thing that I don't like about these double jointed, especially the older pin double jointed elbows, is look how kind of gummy that is. You see that? The plastic right there is just like, it should not move like that. But just due to the design of these joints, they do. You can kind of see when you articulate it, just kind of wants to bend a little bit. See how, like, look at that. I'm barely applying any force right there. Again, it's not a big deal, and it's not like you're gonna be doing that, but it's just something to look out for and to be careful about. So here he is on his glider, and man, I gotta say, you can see how much I had to utilize the boot joint, the boot swivel. Look how far the dumbbell joint hinges are compared to how far the boots are. So thigh swivel is awesome and boot swivel is awesome, but one without the other, man, they really do go hand in hand. If I had to choose, I'd rather have thigh swivel than boot swivel. Some people may think it's a little redundant to have both, but I really do think that it makes all of the difference. I just look, you would not be able to pull this good of a looking pose without the boot swivel, man. It would just look wonky. Because if you went to go turn the thighs out to use a thigh swivel, you wouldn't be able to. It would be like this, like it would still want to kick the shoe out, which honestly doesn't look that bad. But I think it looks better. See, like how that little minor adjustment. Look at that right there. That. And then that. I just feel like that kind of looks a little more normal, you know? But this is pretty cool, man. I definitely need to get some more flight stands, though, because this would look really good on a flight stand. Figure definitely takes me back to, like, 90s animated series or, like, comic vibe Marvel, dude. There is no doubt about that. And just the paint, the green and the purple on here just really vibe together. And then this, like, lighter pinkish purple with the bag and the belt. I'm just really digging it, man. Really, really digging it. And then the sculpt is definitely dated. You know, this is definitely a dated sculpt with the pinned elbows and knees, the very small cut hinges there in the shoulders to not really get much range out of the shoulders there. So it is definitely dated. There's no doubt about that. But man, I gotta say, the presence of it though, like, that's Green Goblin. There's no question about it, man. No question. And a couple fun side-by-side comparisons here. On the right is the AliExpress retro-carded bootleg Spider-Man, and as well is the Spider-Man Animated Series retro-carded bootleg Marvel Legends Venom as well. Both of these are off AliExpress, but honestly, if I hadn't have told you, you probably wouldn't have been able to tell. Now standing here on the left is the Symbiote Spidey suit, and on the right is the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. Now standing on the left is the Hobgoblin, and on the right is Carnage. On the left is Spider-Man Unlimited, and on the right is Scarlet Spider. And last off for the side-by-side comparisons, here on the right is the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, on the left is Agent Anti-Venom. So this figure definitely is a little bit dated, as you can see, just due to the pins and the elbows and the knees and the very small cut hinges in the shoulders for articulation. But overall, man, the sculpt, it does have a lot of incredible detail on it. Like you can see just the sheer amount of like scaling that's on the green part. The paint is on point. The purple and the greens are very vibrant, very poppy. The accessories are cool. We do have the glider and then the Norman Osborn head sculpt, so that's pretty freaking cool. Definitely a fine addition. What would have been nice to have is like to throw this Norman Osborn head on, and then to be able to have like an extra accessory like where the Goblin mask is just a mask. But they might even have a Marvel Legends like that. I'm not totally sure, but that would have been pretty cool. And then changing the hip articulation here, the waist. This single hinge ab cut thing. I would much rather see a ball joint at the waist and the dumbbell joint at the diaphragm. But obviously this is a very early Marvel Legend, not super early, but this is an older figure, older articulation. So overall, I still think it's worth picking up just for the aesthetic. Like if you're a Spider-Man animated series fan, this Green Goblin, it's pretty on point, man. I'm very satisfied with the colors. I do wish the articulation was a little bit better. That's definitely lacking in that department. But the paint and the sculpt it's awesome, dude. I really like it. And I feel like to me this is super just straight comic Green Goblin, man. Like with the purple boots, purple gloves, trunks, the hat, super green with the kind of scaly look to it. I kind of dig it. I'm vibing with it, man. Definitely wish the articulation was better, but overall I'm pretty satisfied with it. And I think it's going to look stellar in the Spider-Man display. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Please hit that like button if you enjoy this review. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, consider subscribing if you're not already. A channel membership called Clan Stoned. If you would be so kind as to join that and check out some couple different tiers that I offer. It's not necessary at all. Just like and watch the comments, subscribe, and all that good stuff. That's all that I need, really, to be honest with y'all. That's just a little extra cherry on top and an extra way to support me to go above and beyond. But with that being said, y'all, shout out to all y'all who check out all my content outside of Star Wars. I really do appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for watching.